Hi guys, welcome to the 𝗤𝗃𝗶𝗴 podcast. My name is 𝗬𝗲𝗶𝗵. Show your love, show your support, subscribe, like, and share. Today, we'll be talking about overcoming challenges for immigrants, a guide for those out of status. First, let's talk about the concept of being out of status. What does it mean to be out of status? Now, when you come into a first world country, you are legally in status. Let's say you come in with a visiting visa, and at the point of entry, you have, let's say they give you 6 months, which I believe is the peak. Let's say they give you 6 months. So that means you have, let's say 2 years visa, or let's say 5 years visa, but the immigration officer gives you permission to be in that country for 6 months. Now, they expect you to leave that country before the end of that 6 months. You get me? Now, let's say you come in with a visa lottery, which is, when you come in, you get a green card, let's say 10 years green card. Or let's say you come in with employment opportunity and they give you 1 year or 2 years employment opportunity, or 1 year. I think it's usually 1 year. And you have to renew it every year. Now let's start from the first one I said, which is the 6 months that you're supposed to be in that country. If you decide not to leave and that 6 months lapse, you get me? You are out of status. Does that make sense? Because normally, if you have within those 6 months and police officer stop you or immigration officer stops you at the airport or something, you can just show them that, your passport and say, okay, I'm still in status to be in here. So if you're out of status, we'll talk about the challenges, everything in today's podcast and everything. But now let's say you came into that country for employment opportunity, and the person that invited you, that employed you, does not want to renew your status, your visa or whatever. Okay, you will go out of status. It will be in the United States, it will be very, very hard for you to migrate to another status if you go out of status. Does that make sense? So the only way is to find someone to get married to. But let's keep it pushing. So we'll talk about the common challenges faced by individuals in these situations. The challenge is this: you won't be able to drive. Your driver's license will expire. You won't be able to open a new bank account. You won't be able to buy money order, send money out of the country. You won't be able to get a job if you're out of status. You get me? You won't be able to do anything new. Buy a house, borrow money. It's almost like you are invisible. It's not good. So, I want you to understand the legal implications of this. Let's explain the legal consequences of being out of status. There's a very big chance that if you constitute nuisance, they will deport you. What do I mean? You have responsibilities, you have bills to pay, you have life, and but you can't fund your own lifestyle. You get me? Like, you just can't. And you're out of status. So most people will participate in crime, and when you're being caught, you will be deported. So that is a legal consequences. They will send you out of that country, back to your home country. If they send you back scot-free, that is nice. Some of them might even make you serve jail time. Let's say they send you to 5 or 7 years. That's not good. That's not good though. So if you want to understand, if you want the resources to understand immigration laws and regulations, I would suggest you check out 𝗬𝚗𝑐IS. If you live in the United States, if you live in other people's country, like let's say United Kingdom, France, Canada, I would suggest you check out their immigration laws and regulations to understand how this thing works and how to bypass. You get me? And it would never make sense to me why you are out of status, you're not a citizen, you don't have the right paperwork, but you feel the need to constitute nuisance in their society, in a new society that doesn't belong to you. Don't do that. If you want to lay low completely. Like, you came into that country to survive. Do what you came into that country to do, which is to survive, and you will survive. As a matter of fact, I strongly believe that they won't bother you if you don't constitute, nuisance. No one is going to look for you. Just lay low for a while. So another thing we should talk about is accessing legal support. I want you to seek a lawyer though. Seek legal advice for individuals, that are still in status, or for lawyers that understand how the country's legal system works. You get me? As swift as possible, preferably a couple of weeks or months before you go out of status. Find you a lawyer though, somebody that understands how things go and how to protect you. That way you know where to move to, where not to move to. Because you see people that are out of status, but because they have a valid international passport, they still travel everywhere, still go to the nightclub and oh my God, don't do that. Don't be an unfortunate being. You get me? And when you speak to this legal practitioner, I want you to ask them about available legal avenues for resolutions. Like, okay, what are the things that I can do? You get me? To continue to be in this country. Because you came to that country for a reason, which is to survive, and you will survive. Because whatever you are experiencing or you are about to experience, I can assure you, you're not the first person that will experience it in time. There's nothing new under the sun. Somebody or some group of people, thousands, millions, have experienced that same thing and they survived it. Oh, they did survive it though. You get me? So you need to understand every possible available legal avenues that they have for you. Is that correct? I think it's correct. Let's see. Yeah, I said it right. Next one is navigate healthcare without status. I should say this to you point blank. No one is going to offer you health insurance because you're out of status. Then you will come to understand that the first questions they ask you before you do anything in the first world country is, do you have a driver's license? Are you a citizen or permanent resident? You get me? So if you don't have health insurance and you can't, you can't get healthcare support, I would suggest you reach out to your family back at home. Tell them to prescribe, to talk to a doctor back at home that will prescribe you name of medications you can buy at, there are stores out, all around here, because there's a very big chance you will fall sick based on change of environment and, change of weather. There's a very, very big chance though, but you're here to survive and you will survive. So do this to your own advantage. You are out of status, and what is this? You are out of status. You are not out of life. You will survive. You will survive though. So, and if you don't have any family back at home and you still need to survive this, I would suggest you find access to a community health resources near you and clinic. There are most definitely some healthcare organizations around that take care of immigrants that are out of status. Not just out of status, just immigrants in general. So if you don't have any family back at home, I would suggest you find community health resources center around you and go there to, to speak to them. When you get there, you will find people of your caliber, people of, not necessarily people of the same ethnicity, but people of the same race, for sure. Another thing I want you to explore is educational opportunities for those out of status, which I don't think is available. But you might be lucky, it might be. And when I want you to have strategies for continuing professional development. Like, for example, you might not be able to go to their school, let's say a university, to get a job. And this is how you will do it. You can get certifications. Yes, they will allow you to get a certification, not necessarily from their school, from online programs. Now, when you get that certification and you know that, okay, you need to find a job, you go to LinkedIn. You can find a job in other country. Let's say you live in the United States, you're out of status. You can find a job in Canada. You can find a job in the United Kingdom. Or you provide services to people or businesses in other countries. So that way you don't need to present any employment authorization paperwork, any green card, anything. Like, you are your own man and you need a job. You get me? So you can do that though. Another thing is community support services. Identify support services for individuals facing status challenges. You can find these from the immigration center near me. Google is your best friend though. Learn to use Google to your advantage. Type immigration support near me, or type immigration support services near me. And when you find this, I want you to connect with the organizations that provide assistance. Now, one thing I should say to you is this. In that country, everyone is not your friend. Don't just talk to everyone that is willing to listen to you and tell them your issues. Don't do that. You get me? When you or preferably you can call them on the phone. Just ask that. Do you guys have any help or any services that you render to immigrations? They will ask you, are you in status or out of status? Tell them you are in status. Don't you ever tell anyone that you don't know that you are out of status. They are not your friends. They are not your friends. So, another thing is mental health and well-being. This is your number one thing you have to prioritize. There is a very, very big chance when you get out of status and you start experiencing financial difficulties, there is a very, very big chance that these two will be affected, your mental health and your well-being. Because you are out of status, you don't have a full-time job, you are struggling financially, your food, like you are struggling, my good friends, and it's okay because you will survive this. So you have to prioritize your mental health. You get me? Like, some people are introverts, some people are extroverts. The people that are extroverts, the fact that they can't move as they are supposed to move, well, it's possible for their mental health to be deteriorated. But to the introverts, I'm pretty sure you survive this, but there's a very big chance that you will still be affected a little bit. So address mental health challenges. You get me? Like, prioritize this though. And if you know you can't do this by yourself, I would suggest you join immigration community services near me. When I say near me, that's what you type on Google. Immigration counseling and support services near me on Google. You get me? So, build a support network. I want you to develop a support network of friends, mentors, and community leaders. If you don't have anyone in your country that you can talk to, I would suggest you have people in your country you can talk to. You get me? People you can reach out to, like talk to. Like, you don't necessarily have to talk about anything spectacularly or anything, just people to talk to. Because in first world country, bro, one of the problems I see people talk to me about is there's no one to talk to, bro. There's no one to talk to, man. So you need support system, not necessarily in that country, but outside of the country. So another thing is language and cultural integration. If you don't understand their language of that country you reside in, I want you to take the time to learn their language, at least to understand the basic things. You get me? Like, let's say it's French, Arabic, or just Chinese, bro. Learn their language, bro. Like, start taking those online classes to learn. Use the time that you are out of status, use it for personal development. You get me? Like, there is no time to feel depressed. There is no time to have anxiety and say, I don't think I can do this. You can do this and you will do this. Because many people before you came into that country and they survived though. As a matter of fact, back in the 70s, my dad came to the United States in 1972. His older brother went to Germany, and he was in Germany for many years. His older brother went to Germany in the 60s for many years. From the Germany, he migrated to the United States. Then my father came to the United States to meet him. So that small story should let you know that that country is not your end all be all. You might be, there's a very big chance you might migrate to another place, but you have to have thick skin. You have to be very, very strong mentally. You get me? Like, out of status is not out of life. Be strong. Be very, very strong though. Use that time to learn, to build your own, your personal value, to build yourself. Either it's your body, your mental state of mind. Have strategies and apply timeline to how soon you have to accomplish those dreams and those goals. Another thing you should look into is employment opportunities. Not necessarily in that country, it might be outside of the country. I mentioned that earlier. I want you to employ employment opportunities, without legal status. Like, you don't need to be in status to get a job in other people's country. You get me? Especially with the help of social media and online. Come on now, with LinkedIn and Indeed, with this thing. What is this thing? This artificial intelligence, this ChatGPT. With ChatGPT, you can write the best of the best resume. You get me? And post this on LinkedIn. Like, present yourself like you know what you're talking about, like a professional. You get me? Somebody's going to reach out to you. I reside in so country. You don't need to tell everybody you're out of status. Come on now. You don't need to. Just present yourself like a professional, like you know what you're talking about. Somebody, you get me? Somebody's going to reach out to you, and when they reach out to you, be professional. Carry yourself well. You get me? And live life. Live life. What else? Family planning. If you come into that country with your wife and your kids, you need to have family planning though. You get me? You need to have family planning and financial planning. Cut your coat according to your size. Majority of the time when you leave your home country and you go into other people's country, especially if you go into a first world country, your friends and your family, your home country, they believe that you have access to a lot of money. You have nothing to prove, my good friends. Don't hurt yourself. You get me? Just the same way you have family planning, learn to have financial planning. You get me? And identify resources for financial assistance. That is, if any is provided to you. But I want you to have the mindset that no one is going to help you. No one is going to help you. Another thing you should look into is family and relationship dynamics. I want you to address, the challenges to balance, your work life, family life, and relationship dynamics. I want you to build resilience and maintain healthy connections. 1, with yourself, 2, with your family, 3, with your finance. Those 3 though, you need to apply resilience. You need to be very, very strong. Be very, very strong, my friends. And when I say you should be strong, I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally. In the United States where I reside in, I've seen a lot of people break down. I'm talking about people that look strong. But you need to understand that a first world country is designed to beat you down, especially if you're not from there. But you have to be prepared for those challenges. I believe in you. I do. So, another thing is we should talk about is overcoming language barriers. And I want you to build strategies for overcoming language barriers in various aspects of life. Access to, language learning. I said this earlier. If you don't understand the country's language, learn this though. I don't even know what to say about this. Just learn more about this, man. Learn. So, this is the most important one. I want you to cope with uncertainty. Oh, cope with uncertainty. The fact that you are out of status, every day will be different. You get me? I want you to build strategies to cope. I want you to build strategies for coping mechanism. When it comes to dealing with uncertainty, I have the mindset that every day will come with it. Every day will bring its own challenges, and you must be up for the task. Be very, very strong though, because you are out of status in that country. And this is not the time to have victim mindset. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have to be very, very strong. And that's the reason why I said previously that you have to be strong mentally. You have to be extremely strong. Like, you are built for this. You are, and I believe in you. You are very, very built for this. Another thing we should talk about is legalization options. As you go through this phase of, okay, you are out of status, you don't want to be out of status for the rest of your life. You get what I'm saying? Because let's say you use the couple of months or 1 or 2 years to be out of status. And I want you to have plans for potential pathways to get back in status. And I want you to understand available options. You get me? Available options from your lawyer. Available options that, okay, what are the things that I need to do to get out of status? And what would I do to become my full potential when I get back in status? You get what I'm saying? Majority of the time when people are in status, let's say they have employment authorization and they have a job, they have a family, they have cars, they have all the people just rely on that income and say, okay, all is well. All is not well, my good friends, because there's a very big chance that you are in status and they will deny your paperwork and you will fall to get out of status. So all I'm saying is you need to have backup plan. But not to deviate, we're still talking about those that are out of status. If you're out of status, make plans for how to get in status. Now, when you get in status, how do you diversify your plans so that you will never, ever, ever be affected by the status, regardless of where you are? You get me? Regardless of where you are. Okay. So let's round this up. The last one is reflection and community planning. I want you to reflect on your journey, because right now that I'm talking to you, you survived it. And I know you will survive this. I want you to reflect on the journey of overcoming challenges. And you need to have this mindset that you will experience more challenges. And it's okay. I want you to build a sense of community and mutual support system among yourself. I'm talking about individual self and your contemporaries, your loved ones. And be happy. Be very, very happy, my good friends. There is no time for depression. There is no time for sadness. As a matter of fact, though, this is life we are living. Whatever you're experiencing right now, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions have experienced this before you, and many more will experience this after you. As a matter of fact, though, many have survived this. You need to have people you look up to. They don't necessarily need to be the same people from your tribe, from your ethnicity, or from your race. Foreigners come to other people's country all the time to make success, to make, to do great things with their life. And you are one of them. You just have to be dedicated, apply resilience, be very, very strong, my friends, and learn to stay out of trouble. You can't hang out with everybody, especially when you are out of status. Learn to lay low completely, my good friends. My name is 𝗲𝗂𝗶. Show your love and your support. Check out the link down below for all the resources that is available under the 𝗤𝗂𝗶𝗵𝗆 podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and be well. Be strong, my friends. All is well.